Hello everyone, I'm Storm Checker ET meteorologist Austin Haskins. Outside of a few showers during the daytime and evening hours on our Tuesday and the hazy skies that we've dealt with the last few days as well at times, the weather lately has been pretty good for this time of the year, and we're going to stay warm and sunny through at least Friday, although the hazy skies are still going to linger. Though by Friday, there are signs that we may see at least a break from those hazy conditions. Still looking at more clouds than sunshine and a bit more humid for the weekend and into early next week, with isolated to widely scattered chances for a couple of showers around. But there's still some data inconsistency on how that's going to play out. And I'll talk about the couple of factors that could maybe change that forecast into the weekend here coming up. Of course, in the short term, we're still going to deal with some of those wildfire smoke from the west in western U.S. and Canada, giving us those hazy skies, that kind of milky white appearance. And you can see on the legend here, we're kind of up into the high category. So definitely you're going to notice it. It wasn't as thick yesterday, which is probably one reason why it was a little bit warmer than what we forecasted. But keep in mind, though, too, if it's a little bit thicker today, that may limit temperatures just a tiny bit. But you can see tomorrow, it gets a little bit better, not a lot, but we are seeing at least some minor improvements. It's really not until we get into Thursday night and Friday that we see some improvement with that. And a lot of that is with a southeast wind that's going to be pushing that farther up to the north and west. Also, the big weather story, at least nationally, and could impact at least our weather to a degree here this weekend, is Hurricane Francine. The 7 a.m. advisory still has winds of 90 miles per hour, so that's a Category 1 hurricane. It has to get to 96 miles per hour for it to become a Category 2. Some of the gusts up over 110 miles per hour. It's located about 200 miles from Morgan City, Louisiana, moving northeast, and will make landfall later today, potentially as a low-end Category 2 or a high-end Category 1 hurricane. But then it'll eventually be moving up towards St. Louis and Memphis Thursday into Friday. So we could see some extra clouds and even a little bit more moisture from what will be left of Francine into the weekend. But we got to watch the jet stream a little bit too. And we're looking at this here. So this is about 18,000 feet above the surface. And we've had this ridge in place the last few days. So that's why it's been warm and sunny for the most part, outside of that little bit of rain we had on Tuesday. But as Francine weakens and draws up to the north, it'll eventually kind of, as I mentioned, fizzle out and kind of stall in the Ohio Valley. But we still get a southeast wind, so we get some extra clouds and a little extra moisture with it. But that could impact maybe the ridge a little bit, maybe strengthening perhaps. And any systems out to the west will end up going to our north. So with that being said, that could mean that our rain chances for the weekend may end up going down. There hasn't really been a lot of consistency in the models on each new runs that come out, which is usually a couple of times a day. But I think once we get into tomorrow and especially on Friday, we should have at least a little bit better of an idea on kind of what to expect. And you can even see in the next week that ridge still sticking with us. So it's still going to be pretty warm even into next week as well, even if we have any small chances for rain, which you see here. We'll have slight chances around from late Friday night through the weekend and into early next week, though there are signs that we're not really expecting a ton of rain with those chances. So the European Futurecast, the longer-term outlook, is suggesting the best chance for at least seeing some rain in our region late Friday night into at least the first half of the day Saturday. This is the one that's been going, at least this morning, a little more aggressive than the other longer-range outlooks. And then as we head into Sunday, there still could be at least a few showers around to the south or a better chance, and then just some lights to isolated activity in our region even into Sunday evening. But the GFS model is kind of saying now, hold on a second, we're maybe not looking at any rain at all. And this is the run that came out at about 5 a.m. this morning. The one before that was showing some rain in our region. This one now, the newer update with it, is showing basically nothing at all. So that's kind of what I've been talking about earlier with kind of the inconsistency in each new model run that comes out. And again, this happens a couple times per day with the shorter term and the longer term outlooks. But something that we'll have to monitor closely. If we end up staying a little bit drier this weekend, temperatures may come up a couple degrees, but if we keep the clouds around and the shower chances, that may keep temperatures down a little bit. I've seen temperatures start to kind of inch up a degree or two the last few days. We'll be well into the 80s the next few days, though, mid to even a few upper 80s, turning a bit humid as well. Right now, we're going to be right around the 80, 82 degree mark Saturday through Monday, with, again, those slight chances for showers. But again, depending on what Francine does and that ridge in the jet stream and a few other factors, that weekend forecast is subject to change. So stick with Storm Tracker 18 weather for updates.